So in today's episode, we're going to be looking at silver's performance, going to be doing some technical analysis, and we're also going to be taking a look at some fundamentals. But first, we're on Wall Street Silver, and we're taking a look at this post from someone who said, "Everyone laughed at me last week when I sold my Bitcoins to buy silver. Who's laughing now?" And you see this graph here of this huge drop off in the price of Bitcoin. It looks like today, this morning, and it just fell off a cliff right before 10 a.m. And the interesting thing is, like, there isn't really any selling volume right underneath this move here, which is pretty interesting for me to see. I mean, you have this huge green buying volume bar here when it went up, but you don't really see a huge red bar for the selling. So that's pretty interesting to note. What I will say is that there is a negative 11% performance there so far when it comes to Bitcoin. And what I will say is that that's actually not that uncommon when you take a look at Bitcoin's movements. Again, I did this analysis for Bitcoin a couple of days ago, but you have some tail risk here when it comes to days in which you would expect a negative or a less than negative 6.5% move. So an negative 11% move, that would be within this bar. So it wouldn't be too unheard of. When it comes to silver, on the other hand, we can take a look at its performance, and to have a negative 11% day in comparison with Bitcoin would be pretty unheard of. So the volatility within holding silver is less severe on a day-to-day basis. But let's take a look at one of the things that Peter Schiff has noted as far as inflation is concerned, which would be a benefit to silver. This is something that I actually didn't, put together on my end. This is a quote from him. He says, "If it costs 2.1% more to produce stuff that we're exporting," he's referring to the export price for the United States, and he continues, "it stands to reason that we also had a pretty big jump in the cost of producing the stuff that we're not exporting, the stuff that we're going to keep here." And sorry, I just hit a key on my keyboard. And then he continues to say, "Everything we make is more expensive to make, and it's going to get passed on to consumers, whether they're international or whether they're domestic." So that's something to take note of as far as the, medium term to possibly long term view of how silver will move. But as far as the near term view, I noticed something pretty interesting as far as the price action. On Friday, we had a pretty wide range of movement here for silver, which is pretty cool. We hit a high here of nearly $26.30. And that's roughly around the closing price, the high closing price here within this range, and above some of the lower closing prices within this range, and some opening prices as well in this March range. So it looks like we're trying to approach that area, but we might have hit a point of resistance that these guys established in March. So it looks like as we move up, we may have some resistance here at the $26.30 level. And it might be easier to see that move that we had on Friday when you take a look at how quickly we came down in price once we approached that area on Friday. So guys, that will be, in my view, one of the next targets to look at, one of the next soft targets to look at, I should say, would be roughly around that $26.30 area. Basically what I'm trying to say is getting above this range here as far as the closing prices are concerned. So guys, I think that's the near term view. It looks like things could possibly be continuing upward. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're new. It's Black Bullion for gold and silver today.com.